Dave is owner of the Mosby's Confederate Tours and leads tours in Mosby's Confederacy, including Virginia counties of Fauquier, Loudoun, Warren, Clark, and Fairfax. He is descended from the Reverend Father James M. Graves, a Catholic chaplain who served in the Army of Virginia Dave served as commander of the Black Horse Camp, Sons of Confederate Veterans in Fauquier County. Mr. Goetz has for many years studied the life and times of John Singleton Mosby. He is interested in the post-war relationships between Colonel Mosby and General of the Army and President Ulysses S. Grant. His book, Hell is Being a Republican in Virginia, examines their relationships, especially their search for peace and reconciliation between the North and the South from when they met in 1872 until Grant's death in 1885. His book should be out within the next month, so look for that. Mr. Goetz has a professional background in public relations, sales, and marketing, primarily with nonprofit organizations. He holds an undergraduate degree in English from Bellarmine University, Louisville, Kentucky, and a Master of Science degree in Community Development from the University of Louisville. He is a U.S. Army veteran and received an honorable discharge. Welcome, Mr. Goetz.
Thank you, Jim. Those of you who have programs, look on the back of the programs. These are the names of those from Madison County who served in the military and died from wounds in combat. And this is why we are here today. This is why we are here. Their names are carved in granite on this obelisk over here, and this monument on your left marks the brave service of Confederate soldiers in Madison County. When we talk about honor, the best thing we can do to honor these men is to learn something about them. They were once, like us, flesh and bone. I suggest to you that the best way you can honor these men is to look up the name of one of them and learn something about him. Thank you, one and all, for being here today. I especially want to thank Jim Lillard, who's the camp commander of the Kemper-Fry-Strother Camp, Sons of Confederate Veterans, and his able lieutenant, Jim Carpenter, for inviting me here today. I'm honored to be here today, and it's a privilege to stand here before you. Today, Americans across our great nation are pausing to serve Memorial Day. I would be willing to bet that everyone here knows someone who is using this 3-day weekend to head to the beach, go to grandma's, maybe even buy a mattress. Ask some children, some kids, what Memorial Day is all about, as I did once upon a time when my son was 12. I said, "What is Memorial Day?" He said, "The pool's open." No, that's not what Memorial Day is. Since its first official observation on May 5th, 1868, Jim Lillard, you're stealing my thunder. A little bit. It was called Decoration Day back then. It's been a day of remembrance for those who sacrificed and died in our nation's service. And while it was originally dedicated to honor those soldiers who fell during the war between the states, we know it today as a celebration in memory of all who have fought and defended our right to freedom. In 1968, the observation of this day was established to be the last Monday in May. Today it remains a time of observation to honor and respect those who fought to protect the liberties that our founding fathers proclaimed with certainty in the Declaration of Independence, and that were thoughtfully and carefully framed in the Constitution of these United States. In his proclamation to set aside this day in 1868, General Logan, who was General of the Army at that time, instructed there to be thoughts to, and I'm quoting here, "cherish tenderly the memories of our heroic dead, who made their breast a barricade between our country and its foes." To those who died securing peace and freedom, to those who served in conflict to protect our land and sacrificed their dreams to preserve the hope of our nation, keeping America the land of the free for more than 2 centuries, we owe our thanks and our honor. It is important to not only recognize their services, but to respect their devotion to duty and ensure that the purpose for which they fought will not be forgotten. From the soldiers who fought bravely during the American Revolution to the men and women in today's armed forces, America's fighting forces have responded bravely to this nation's call to duty, both on the battlefield and in their assurance of readiness. Members of the nation's military remain bound to their duty. For more than 200 years, America's armed forces have been the surest guarantee that freedom will continue to ring across this land. The lives of the men and women who fought America's battles made significant sacrifices in fighting for the freedom and liberty that we enjoy today. Too often we fail to remember those who gave their lives, or those today who bear the scars as a lasting memory of that sacrifice and commitment. There are many who vividly remember as the lives affected were sons, daughters, friends, co-workers, and neighbors. Let us not forget them as well. During the war between the states, Abraham Lincoln expressed the respect and compassion of a nation as well as himself in a letter to a Mrs. Bixby, who endured the loss of all 5 of her sons. "Dear Madam," the President wrote, "I have been shown the files that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine which attempt to beguile from you the grief of a loss so overwhelming. But I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the love and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom." Signed, A. Lincoln. Now, some of you will remember this from the movie Saving Private Ryan, which was quoted in that movie. Now, in the Revolutionary War, more than 25,000 lost their lives in the pursuit of freedom that they believed but could not have fully comprehended at the time. More than 620,000, and that is the most conservative estimate, more than 620,000 Confederate and Union soldiers died in the war between the states. World War II claimed the lives of more than 400,000 Americans, and many tens of thousands more died in Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War, and today, Iraq and Afghanistan. In each instance, without regard to politics or popular opinion, soldiers have taken up their arms and begun the awesome task of pushing back the threat to our freedoms made by others throughout the world. During the war between the states, poet Walt Whitman observed soldiers on both sides as they fought for their beliefs and suffered the pain and agony of battle. "Future years," he wrote, "will never know the seething hell and the black infernal background of the war. The real war will never make it into the books." On September 11, 2001, the United States was, for the second time in its history, attacked by an unprovoked and cowardly act of war. Our resolve was tested, but America's military forces responded when it was again called to defend the country. To those who fought and those who died, we owe the honor and respect for the commitment of their lives and the willingness to lose them to protect America's freedom. So let us pause with respect and honor on this Memorial Day to remember those who fought and those who gave their lives, and for those who willingly stand ready today to do the same, without question, when the nation calls on them. Our land has truly been blessed and honored by veterans who gave their lives to ensure our freedom to enjoy the blessings given to us by God. On this Memorial Day, I ask that you pause and reflect on just what it has been given and sacrificed by our veterans so that freedom rings across this great land. God bless the United States of America.